I'm guessing there are 10 targets in here. Also know, B, that's my ideogram for land. Okay? Now then, this A, it loops down, feels soft. B, that's my ideogram for live, or biological. Okay, this is the same thing. I have a soft, B, biological, A, wavy, the pen feels slick on the paper, B, water. Okay, now then, there's also something on this. I always fear what my students are going to send me for a target. But I also know, because I have done so many ideograms over the past 18 years, that these two are connected, and this is biological water. I kind of worry about this here. Okay, so I have land, I have biologicals, plural, I have something man-made, I have some biological liquid. Okay? I hope this is a scene I can show y'all. Okay. Task me with any one of those to describe in more detail. Okay. Now then, I can go back on this sketch. This is actually phase 3. I can go back on this sketch and I can say, okay, at point number 1 here, it feels woody, brown, rough, point number 2, pastel colored, rubbery feel, soft, giving, warm. Okay, I don't know what it is, but whatever's right here is all these things. It's enough on man-made. Pick one of the other gestalts. Go ahead. Land. Okay. So I would go running out of paper here pretty soon. Like trees and things out, trees and plants and all that kind of stuff. Flat. Animal smell. Okay, this animal smell bothers me. So I'm going to cue myself now. Biologicals. Okay? P2. Biologicals. Striped. Stray cat. Zebras. See how I jumped to a conclusion here? I got to get that out of there. Describe the stripes. I could go on into phase 2, and I could give you more and more detail about the stripes. You could say brown. Tell me about the brown. Okay, I'm still viewing. The brown feels furry. It feels soft. It feels kind of like dog hair, only softer, and so on. And so I can just get detail. I have no idea what this target is. It doesn't even make sense to me. I could go into helpless and give you more and more details about the helpless. I want to cut this short. I don't want to take the whole time doing demos. It's page number 9 from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Baby bottles that are embedded into a long board. Okay.
Just out of interest,
yeah.
Are you going to, can we see what the others are? Just to make
Make sure they're all.
Yeah.
All not the same.
Okay. Did
I did not change the order.
Oh, I don't care about that. Were there any duplicates in it?
Not that I know.
Okay, there were no duplicates in it. All right. As we do this, I'm going to call out 7 words, and what I want you to do is give me the most minimal graphic representation you can of the idea behind that word. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Land. Okay? Write down the word land out beside that for future reference here. Okay, your next one is going to be water. And write down the word water out beside that. The next one is man-made. Everybody gets something different for that one. I get a line that goes up like this, like something growing, like a vine growing up or something. Was it? Okay.
So I'm just trying to just massaging my ego.
Videogram for it, and rather, I forget, but I'd rather keep it like, what was it this? What was it? I forget.
Oh, I don't know TRV. Yeah, Ed assigns you ideograms. Hey, Ed Dames assigns ideograms to you. That's ridiculous. It's your language. It's only going to be used between your conscious and subconscious mind. Hey, make it any way you want.
So there's control remote viewing.
Right.
What was the other one you said?
Ed Dames teaches one that he calls technical space. Space. Did anybody not draw something circular? Really? Hey, very good. Most people draw something circular for space. Yeah.
I was having a difficulty trying to draw it because I knew that if I drew a circle, it would also.
Oh, don't think. Let your subconscious do it. Just do it. Whatever comes natural. Yeah.
And I'm getting them before you're saying them.
That's okay. That's okay. Shows talent. Okay, the next one is energy or motion. Okay. That's when you know you're getting good. When your subconscious starts making up its own ideograms.
A bit like handwriting. I try
Yeah.
writing, but when I do it too quickly and I'm listening and I'm feeling, it comes out different.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just comes out.
Yeah. I try to write cursive in English, and okay. The last one is biological. That's 7, right? Okay. Now then, put that sheet to where you can see it in case you have to reference it. And take out a clean sheet. You too, Barbara. Okay. This is a standard ideogram drill, and I'm going to just call out the words, and as I do, you draw the ideogram. You don't have to write the word. Like I say, land, and you make a straight line across. That's all you have to do. All right? Land. Water. Land. Space. Energy. Biological. Water. Man-made. Natural. Man-made. Water. Energy. Land. Water. Space. Huh? It's changing, yeah, but I'm speeding up too. Generally, when you're giving ideogram drills, you speed up to the point where a person cannot consciously keep their mind on it, and so they're forced to just do it by reaction. It helps the viewer. Okay, the only thing more boring than doing an ideogram drill is calling an ideogram drill. That's why as soon as we got talking computers, I wrote a program, and I didn't bring copies of the program to give to everyone. Write to me and I'll send you a copy.
Is it still PC only?
Yes, it's PC only. Yeah. One of my students said that he has an ideogram drill for the Mac that he will sell for only $35. So,
Is it on the website?
no, it's not. I haven't gotten it up there yet. Okay. What I want to do at this point is I would like to give you a coordinate as a group and have you allow your hand to tell you what gestalts are at the site. It's going to be one or more of those 7, okay? So, your coordinate is natural, man-made.
I think I'm through energy, but I did it without realizing.
That's the best way. Biological and energy. Anybody get like water? Did you? Okay. Anybody get space? Did you? All right. What we have here is an open art market in some city in Europe. Okay?
I got really good ears.
You're writing what comes to mind with your hands. My hand's not pushing. That's normal for the first day of this. It's normal for the first week of this. Yeah.
Sorry, I told you before.
Writing down the coordinate. There's one major reason for writing down the coordinate. If you start from a dead stop to do an ideogram, it's very hard to get your pen moving. But if you write the number, your pen's already moving. And then just let your hand trail off into whatever you want. Okay? Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. Y'all ready? Number 2, natural. Okay. Energy. 3 people got energy. Okay.
Mine has 2.
Huh?
Mine has 2.
Oh, good. What do you have?
Water and natural.
Water and natural. 4? What are they?
I have land, then I have natural, then I have biological, and then I have water.
Crops in the field. Huge field with some houses, farmhouses and all that. Okay. Now, these have multiple gestalts. You know, most people are going to be right on these. I found that a little bit of success breeds success.
I got red box.
You got what?
Red box.
Do you have a gestalt, though you'll be viewing the image that's in my hand?
Okay, what about the people that take the pictures or are in the pictures, like, do their emotions come through? Because you have emotions up there.
In later stages, after you get good at this, and you can pick up on emotions, then they'll
Coming across me.
yeah.
And now I know why, because you didn't say, that wasn't the word you
That was
said.
energy, yeah. Uh-huh.
And then when...
Energy
Yeah, right.
or emotion, yeah.
But I thought he said emotion.
Yeah,
And it's just nothing.
I should have said motion or energy, yeah.
I'm running
Yeah.
on very little sleep.
Okay. Okay, so you'll see how this begins. Now, this is a very shallow introduction. Anybody relate any of this to being psychic so far? No, it's not. In CRV sessions, you don't go into a trance. You don't, your eyes don't roll back in your head. You don't start speaking in deep voices and all this. And yeah.
To me, it felt more empathic.
It is. It's very empathic, yeah. But who is it you're being empathic with? In CRV, you're empathic with yourself because your subconscious knows everything about that target. All you're trying to do is you're trying to get the information from your subconscious up to your conscious mind and out onto a sheet of paper. Why do you get it out onto a sheet of paper? One, because that's a physical way to do it. And two, because I don't care what you know. If I can't report it to the president doesn't know. You got to have a report. So it's just logic. Did anybody not see the demo feedback picture? Okay. Okay. As you go through this, some people have already started doing it. Okay. What you need to teach all beginning remote viewers is the target's still going to be there 60 seconds from now. You don't have to hurry and get it all. So let me give you another one, and we'll go through the same process, and I'll ask for your gestalts that you got, and then I'm going to say to you, tell me about the land. Describe the man-made or whatever. At that time, I'd like for you to start giving me a smell. Mentally tap on it. How does it feel? When you tap on it, what sound does it make? Does it sound like it's made out of glass or metal or wood or paper or sponge or what? Mentally rub your hand across it. How does it feel? What's its temperature? Mentally push on it. Does it give or does it just stay there? How about luminance? Is it really bright, really dark, in between? Anybody get any impression of any size that it is? Write it down. Okay, this is how the process goes. Anybody get an idea so far of what it is? Bad bet, slap your hand. Okay. Go over to this right side of the page, write down what you think it is, and then put set aside. Get rid of it. Okay? Put your reputation on the line for a change. Okay? Go ahead.
Well, first thing I felt was it was something emotional. So I didn't get any of the pictograms, but I knew it was something emotional. And I think it's a tank type thing with metal on the edge, water in it.
Okay. She said it's emotional. It's a tank type thing with water in it. Okay. And did you get anything else? Color?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah,
Size? How big?
8 by 4
8 by 4 feet, inches,
feet.
feet. Okay. Okay. Who else got something else? Go ahead.
I may die.
What are your gestalts?
Okay, I got fly, I got metal. I
No.
keep coming back to metal.
Yeah. What are your gestalts?
Oh, you mean the little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got
It has the gestalts of
land,
land.
and it's, then it has motion, tremendous motion.
Tremendous motion. Okay.
I get tremendous motion, and then I got, it seemed like water, but it really wasn't water.
Water,
Oil.
hot, smelling grease and oil. Okay. Who else? Go ahead.
I had gray.
What are your gestalts?
Oh, water.
Water.
I had gray cement, hard, and color in between, noise.
Sitting there and your mind is going, ooh, I know what it is. Ooh, I know what it is. You know, set each one of them aside. If it takes 50 pages before your mind finally calms down, that's 50 pages of paper. You know, it's your fault for killing the trees, and, you know, take the blame, but go ahead. It's actually water and cement and man-made. I would say emotional. Okay. It's some kind of a... Now, you got people, but no people. Take a look at the picture. It's...
What kind of material is that made out of?
I have no idea. Is it wood or metal or...
It doesn't look metal.
The
It looks wood, but I don't know if it's
the land
wood.
part of it is definitely cement. It's definitely cement. I mean, it's and these look like cement columns going up with
What made me think of the marketplace
right.
was brick, light in colour, smells dusty for some
Yeah.
reason. Sounds of people,
Okay.
rough, immovable, and new.
Yeah.
And
Question on the date.
Okay.
This is not too far off on shape,
Okay.
but my mind was sort of heading toward dam also.
His mind was heading toward a dam.
When I hit cement,
Uh-huh.
then that's sort of where.
Yeah, I sort of had a cognitive recognition.
Yes. There's an exercise we have. There are two exercises. One is called Go Hug a Couple of Trees, and the other is called the Ambiance exercise. The Go Hug a Couple of Trees, if feel the back of the chair right there, okay? Smooth? Okay. Feel the paper. Smooth?
So you're right on it.
Two different kinds of smooth. Totally different kinds of smooth. You'll find that your language restricts your thinking. Your thinking also restricts your language, okay? But you'll find that if you do this, go hug a couple of trees, not one tree, but a couple, and you go along and you say, well, this is white and this is white, but look, they're different whites. And you start noticing smaller and smaller differences. We have a wall in the training room which is called desert sand. And it's not the sand of the desert that we live in, but it's just a bare off-white. And I had a class in there one time, and I said, what color is this wall? Well, we've got a center courtyard that has green grass. We've got the pool outside, which is all blue, and windows all along both sides of the training room. And all these different lights keep coming in, you know, the light from the sky and everything else, on this wall. And so I asked people, what color is the wall? One of them said it's white. Another one said it's off-white. One of my students is a guy named Brent Binger, who is the new Norman Rockwell. And he took a look at the wall and he said, well, that wall's about 1,000 colors. Because he could see the differences. And as you do this touching two things, smelling two different things, taste something sweet. Oh, taste something else sweet. Notice the difference. They're both sweet, but there'll be a difference. You go hug one tree, go hug the tree right beside it. There will be a difference, okay? And you sensitize yourself to smaller and smaller differences, and you wake up. I have had people call back and tell me that they've been asleep for 45 years, and finally, for the first time in their life, they've woken up. That they don't care if they remote view ever. They finally woke up, and they're finally seeing the world around them for the first time ever. One of them even told me, there's a neat picture on my hallway wall. And he said, I've lived in this house one at a time and put them into a cathedral. They'll get that same hushed feel. It's repeatable. It's a physical feel. They feel it. You put them on the edge of a cliff. Whoa, It's repeatable. It's a physical feel. It is a sense of ambiance. You start teaching people ambiance, and there is an exercise we have that takes 20 steps. You start off very simply, and you work your way up to step 20. Part of the graduation test for step 20 is to sit in a restaurant with no reflecting surfaces in front of you. Your back to the door, and sit there, and as people walk in and leave, you describe the person, you describe whether they're young. And it's not psychic. Psychic is the seventh sense, and I'm firmly convinced that about 90% of everything that passes for psychic isn't psychic at all. It's the psychic sitting there at the table with you reading your ambiance. They're reading you. They're not reading the psychic signal line. And anyway, that's an aside. But we have exercises that we give with the training classes that do more than just teach you controlled remote viewing. Like the sensitivity exercise for the five senses, colors and such, that if you can't close your eyes right now and thoroughly describe this room, then how in the world am I going to send your mind halfway around the planet and have you describe a room there? Part of the training we give is just to wake you up right here. Simple as that. And we have the exercises to do that, to make you so alert. Step 15 on the ambiance exercise, you learn how to cut it off because it becomes painful to be in a restaurant or in a public place. Absolutely painful. Are there people who are doing things remotely with their mind that should be considered criminal? Absolutely. Are they criminals? No, because there's no law against it. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
This is a little out of line.
Okay.
You're remote viewing.
Okay.
Will you run into somebody else remote viewing at the same time?
Only once. The question is, have I ever run into anyone else remote viewing the same target? Only once. I was at one target, and there were people around. One of the things about normal remote viewing is that once you acquire the target, it stops it in time. Everything stays static. And so, except you. And I was looking around describing the place, and there were people. It was a museum. There were people all in this museum. And I looked, and there was this one Chinese girl, young Chinese girl, and I described her, and I described some of the other people, and I looked back around, and she had moved. And that caught my attention. And she turned around and looked right straight at me and then disappeared. And so I reported to my monitor what had just happened. That's strange. And the monitor said, okay, describe the young Chinese girl. Then he said, follow her to wherever she disappeared to. hadn't occurred to me to do that. And that's how we got intimate information on the entire Chinese psychic spying effort. Learned where it was, who the people were, everything about it.
Do you believe that you actually are represented as yourself then?
Decide, come in and intercept or prevent your viewing in some way?
The question is it possible for the other side to come in and prevent your viewing in some way? One of the features about controlled remote viewing was that there is no prevention against it. A mandate in the unit to find a protection from CRV, because if we could, then the enemy could too. And just by accident, I found a protection from CRV, a way to prevent a target from being remote CRV'd, remote viewed in any way by any psychic, period, even natural psychics. We tested it on one person, one location, and one object. And to this day, that one person, that one location, and that one object cannot be remote viewed even by the best remote viewers. And you say, okay, I'll just move back through time till the time it wasn't protected. Doesn't work. And the other mandate was, if you find protection, then find a way to break it. Well, I can't find a way to break it because I can't remote view those targets. I mean, I'm forbidden from remote viewing them. Yeah.
This is possibly a nonsense question, and I'm only asking your personal opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
Establishment's opinion on it. How much would you say remote viewing and its later
Be more proficient than if you start at an adult age?
Okay, the question is, if we take a young child and teach them CRV, will they be more proficient than if we teach them at an old age? My opinion, and everyone else's opinion, is yes. We've tried it 4 or 5 times, and it's a science. And it's a boring science. And the problem has been getting the kid interested. You know, we tried with the young kid, and they just wouldn't bother having it. Did great sessions, and just, it was such a natural thing, they didn't care. You know, they just wanted to go out and play.
They would be more interested in doing a physical martial art.
No, I've been surprised.
I would think.
He said, are they less able to articulate what they see? I've been surprised. They seem to have a better chance of articulating what they see.
If you introduced children, just introduce them to the concepts, then if they had the motivation and an adult, would you think that they would be much more proficient?
And we have tried that with some of our family members, and the answer is yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what is the difference between TRV and CRV? And like, were they different schools within the same unit? Or how come they're separate? Was that something that developed after?
What is the
humanitarian application?
Oh, yes. We started the assigned witness program to help police departments and other public government agencies in investigations. We do work for I personally do work for corporations and make them pay through the nose because it's worth it. I mean, if I save them $5 million, then why should I charge $10 for my time? You know, and they can afford it. It makes money for them, and so it's worth it. And we're branching into a lot of new applications in the civilian arena that we didn't have in the military. Gambling, stock market. We've got some people that are just raking in the money over the stock market. Archaeology, archaeological digs, and so on. Research and development in the sciences. You simply move to the future and describe which invention succeeded over all the others. You bring that information back, and that's where the company, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But hey, they make money. and it works. So there's all kinds of applications. Yeah.
Sorry, another throwaway question, but what's your own personal opinion on Hollywood's recent foray into remote viewing type activities?
The question is, what's my opinion of Hollywood's take on remote viewing and all that? I think it is pure Hollywood.
Do you think it might be being done to either stir up consumer interest in the prospect, or to just make people think it's purely science fiction and therefore...
It's done to sell movies and to be sensational and to get people stirred up. It is getting people interested in remote viewing. But they're coming into it with a totally screwed up, view. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, Russell is working on a screenplay. Several people are working on books and screenplays and all that. Yeah.
Can you go and check out and tell me how good the film is now?
Yeah. Session normally takes about an hour. I could do that, sure. A good session normally takes about an hour. This thing here, give me an hour on that target, I could probably tell you the names of each one of those. Keep practicing stage 2. You'll get better at stage 2. Stage 2 will lead on into sketching, and when it does, at some point, it stops becoming one logical progression after another, and at some point, you will need formal training. This is one of those things where you don't read a book on kung fu and go out and get in a fight, okay? And you don't read a book on remote viewing and go out and save some kid's life because you find them, for the police. You need training. This is a science, and just like you wouldn't want a self-taught brain surgeon, you don't want a teacher, all right? I would stick to the CRV, controlled remote viewing, and at the present time, that is taught by myself, a man named Paul Smith who lives in Austin, and a quickie course in it is taught by a man named Dave Morehouse, who seems to live all over the world. I can't find him anymore. There is a derivative, okay, Alamogordo, New Mexico. Ingo Swann invented CRV for the military. One of the military members, Ed Dames, took that and made his own simplified version of it and called it TRV. A student of his, Courtney Brown, took that and turned it into a more simplified version, which was called scientific remote viewing. And I brought yes. Hey, just remote view it. Yeah, I brought cards. Okay.
Save them trees.
Yeah. Just pass them around. Any you have about it. The second most common one is out-of-body experience. It's being called remote viewing. The problem I have with calling those remote viewing is not so much what it does to the name of remote viewing. It's the fact that guided imagery happens naturally to a lot of people with great talent, very accurately. So they have this happen to them. They go and they say, "What just happened to me?" "Oh, you were remote viewing." So they get on the internet and they look up all this stuff on remote viewing. They never get pointed toward guided imagery, which is what they're doing, and which has a wealth of research, backlog of information, tons of information on how to do it better. And I'm sorry?
There are different processes.
There are different processes, but they're not remote viewing.
No, exactly.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Was finding out if people are remote viewing you.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
If a person is psychically spying on you and not using CRV, it's very possible. one of the basic earmarks that made CRV so desirable for the military is you can do it without being caught. You can do it in such a way that nobody can tell they're being remote viewed or that their security is being breached or whatever. You can go into a person's mind and totally
movie about a ghost from the wishing well.